Good evening, everyone. This is June the 8th, 9:56 p.m. Now, we have had a question, or rather a series of questions, asking for suggestions for communicating with those in the non-physical. Please describe the process of disengagement and stages of transition. Describe the non-physical and what that experience is like. Now, when I first read this question, Eve kind of laughingly shouted in my ear, 42. Now, if any of you have read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you will understand that reference. If you haven't read it, I suggest you do. It's a very fun read. But there is in that book a supercomputer that was asked, what is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything? And the supercomputer spends 7.5 million years on that question and answers 42. So what Eve is referring to is that she feels like this question pretty much encompasses everything. You're asking about the physical versus the non-physical. And so, and basically take it to mean how do you communicate with those who have died, and what is the process of dying, and what is the afterlife like. Um, if we have interpreted this incorrectly, please, let me know. Anyway, before she answers that question, she wanted to make a few comments. And I will say that I'm not sure how long this is going to be, but it might take two um, videos to fully go over this. Anyway, we're going to start with just a couple of comments from Eve. Yes. Now, we would like to say that those of us you call the oversouls or the spooks or whatever name or label you wish to put upon us, we are not omnipotent. We do not know all there is to know in the world and the universe and all the probabilities. And we cannot necessarily reach into every corner of eternity to answer every question that you may have. Now, we would like to say that as you may understand us, we are a gestalt or a compilation of the lives, both physical and non physical, that we have had, and the lives, both physical and non physical, of those who make up a part of us. For example, all of this one's experiences are combined with my experiences, or our experiences, as we say, to create the spook that speaks to you. We would also like to say that because we are not separate from those who speak for us, and because there are so many energy manipulations that must take place before we bring information to you, that there are often simplifications, there are often things that are blocked, there are often things that are changed somewhat, for the information must come through the body that is speaking to you. It must come through their physicality, the patterns of their brain waves, the mm, parts of the brain that have been trained over time. Additionally, the psychological makeup of that person and their ability to let go of certain things to move to meet us, as it were. So there are manipulations on both sides, and we believe you will find that some personalities are better suited to certain types of communication. So, for example, although we believe everyone has some measure of all of these types of phenomenon, psychic abilities, whatever label you wish to put upon them, you will see that you have grouped them, so to speak, into categories. For example, you have, as this one, channelers, you have mediums, you have psychometrists, you have psychics, you have those who read the cards, you have a whole variety of different types of communication with that which is beyond what you term normal day-to-day communications with others. And each of these things requires a special way of communicating with the energies. So we ask you to keep that in mind when, first of all, you ask a question, and second of all, when you hear the response. There may be some distortion. You may hear something different from one type of personality versus another personality, although we do believe that ultimately the same thing is being said, only in different ways. So we wish you to keep that in mind for this response and all other responses that you hear from ourselves and from others. We would also like to say that beyond us, in your terms, I suppose you would say above us, there are others who comprise all of ourselves, all of ourselves, selves, etc. And most, well, many have had physical life, but there are even those who have not had physical life at all, and yet will in some measure be able to communicate or pass knowledge down. Now, also, we wish to mention to you that we do not, for the most part, speak in words to the channel or the medium or whatever. Generally, there is a series of images that are sent, or a series of vibrations, or feelings, or concepts that are sent. And then these are translated by the person in the physical. And then that person translates these concepts and feelings and visual stimuli into the words that you hear. So we do not speak to you one to one as you would speak to a friend. Exactly. We speak to you through a series of operations that culminate in words. So, having said that, we will begin with the questions that have been asked. And we will say that basically what is being asked here is describe everything. Tell us the physical, tell us the non-physical. We wish to know exactly what happens to us when we pass over. We wish to know what those experiences are like. And we wish to communicate with those who have passed over before us. Now, we would say that as far as communicating with those who have passed over, you have many choices. And so again, it would be what is your preferred method. And you may wish to try several different methods to see how you feel about the results and about the person that is taking these results and putting them into words for you. So, for example, let us say someone you care for has passed over and you wish to communicate with them. Now, you may, of course, do this yourself simply by moving your energies in that direction. Now, what form that communication may take can be quite varied. You may hear words, you may get images, you may get visual stimuli, you may find objects moving in your space, such as chairs rocking, things falling off the walls, things flying around, things just moving, a chair perhaps pushing itself with no known force across the floor. You may hear music. Much will depend upon the relationship you had with this person before they passed. Additionally, where that person is in their travels in the afterlife may also come into play, for there may be a great portion of their personality that is communicating with you, or there may be only a very small portion that is available to you. You may not be able to contact the entire personality as you know them to be. So that's one way you can do this yourself. You may wish to contact a medium who specializes, if we may say so, in communicating with those who have passed over. You may choose to use a Ouija board. There are many who find that to be something they enjoy using and that they get a lot of good information from. You may wish to find someone who is well versed in psychometry, for example. You bring an object that belonged to that person to the psychometrist, and they will hold it, and they will receive impressions, and they will connect with the entity that way. Now, these are just a few of the ways that are possible. We understand that there are those who, for example, can take writing implement and put it between paper or put it between a chalkboard and receive messages in that manner. Additionally, you have automatic writing. So we say to you that there's a vast number of ways to communicate with those who have passed over. Now, additionally, here we are talking primarily about those who you have known in the physical, who perhaps are friends or loved ones or relatives. If you wish, however, to communicate with those long gone, but perhaps of historical significance, perhaps you wish to speak to Abraham Lincoln, or you wish to speak to Hitler, or whatever it is, whoever it is, perhaps you wish to speak to Jesus. All of these are great energies and will be perhaps difficult, perhaps too much for those in the physical, unless they are extremely well versed and well talented and well practiced. They might be extremely difficult to be translated by the channeler or medium into words and images and messages that would be clearly understandable to the channel and be able to come through clearly. We believe that this is certainly possible, and it has been done, but we would say there is probably, in most instances, a great deal of distortion when that type of energy is requested. So, we hope that answers the first question. Now, we are going to stop here and pick up on the second video because we understand there are some time constraints. So, we will speak with you again very shortly. Okay, I gather we're going to do a part 2, so I'm going to close this off and get it posted.